The city was a graveyard of concrete and gray dust. Every step Titanox took sent a plume of ash into the stagnant air, the sound unnaturally sharp against the heavy silence. He gripped his double-bladed axe, his knuckles straining against the handle. Beside him, the team moved in a tight formation, eyes scanning the shattered windows and hollowed-out storefronts. There was no wind, no movement, just the suffocating weight of a gaze that felt like it was pressing against their skin. Titanox stopped, his boots crunching into a pile of broken glass. He held up a hand, signaling the others to freeze. "Stay sharp," he muttered, his voice barely audible. Whatever was watching us did not leave. Pyronox stood a few paces behind, his bow held steady. He felt the air shift, a subtle change in pressure that made the hair on his neck stand up. "Something is coming," Pyronox whispered, his fingers tightening on the bowstring until his joints turned white. A deep, metallic thud shattered the quiet. It was not a natural sound. It was the rhythm of something heavy, something deliberate. The ground beneath them groaned, sending a series of sharp tremors up their legs that forced them to widen their stances to stay upright. Another thud followed, closer this time, shaking loose dust from the surrounding skeletons of buildings. A thick, swirling cloud of gray smoke began to pour from the end of the street. From the center of that haze, a massive silhouette pushed forward. It was a hulking, armored shape, its hide covered in dark, jagged plates that pulsed with a faint, unnatural energy. As it stepped into the light, the team saw the creature's form, a predator with the heavy, low-slung build of a crocodile, but standing with a terrifying, upright posture. Its eyes were not wild. They were cold, precise, and locked onto them with a chilling, calculated intelligence. Zapanox spun his triple nunchaku, his face twisting into a grin. But Thornox did not move, his daggers dimming as he sensed the anomaly of the beast. The creature opened its jaws, and a harsh, grinding mechanical rasp echoed through the ruins. Subjects confirmed. The word hung in the air, heavy and final. The creature moved with a speed that defied its massive frame. It lunged, a blur of dark plates and raw momentum, slamming directly into Titanox. The impact was absolute. Titanox flew backward, his body shattering through a concrete wall, sending a spray of debris into the street. Zapanox did not hesitate. He surged forward, his triple nunchaku whistling through the air in a blur of strikes aimed at the creature's joints. Each blow connected with a sharp, metallic clang, but the armored hide did not even dent. The beast simply turned its head, tracking Zapanox's movements. Pyronox drew his bow, the strings singing as he released a glowing arrow. It struck the creature square in the chest, detonating in a flash of light. The beast did not even flinch. It stood motionless amidst the smoke, its eyes burning with that same steady, chilling intelligence. Then, the creature's mouth curled into a smile, a gesture that felt entirely wrong on such a face. "It is learning," Pyronox shouted, his voice cracking. The team regrouped, their breathing ragged, their movements suddenly hesitant. They had thrown their best, and the creature had barely shifted its stance. The creature slammed its tail into the cracked pavement, releasing a pulse of raw energy that rippled outward like a physical wall. The shockwave caught the team, throwing them apart and scattering them across the debris-strewn street. Thornox seized the momentary chaos, vanishing into the shadows to strike from the creature's blind spot. He lunged with his daggers, but the beast turned instantly, catching his wrist mid-air with a clawed hand. "I can feel you," the creature said. It held Thornox in place, its eyes tracing the movement of his blades before tossing him aside, like a discarded tool. Pyronox scrambled to his feet, his bow shaking in his grip. "This is not a fight," he shouted. "It is analyzing us." Titanox pushed up from the rubble, blood trailing from his lip, and signaled for a regroup. They gathered, chests heaving, their movements sluggish. The beast stopped, its head tilting as if receiving a final transmission. Evaluation complete. It stepped back into the smoke. Silence reclaimed the ruins, heavier than before. Pyronox stared at the darkening sky, his bow hanging limp in his hand. "That was not sent to destroy us," he whispered. Thornox stood motionless, sheathing his daggers with slow, deliberate movements. "It was sent to measure us," he replied. Zapanox clenched his fists until his knuckles turned white, his jaw set in a jagged, frustrated line. "Next time, we hit harder," he growled, though the conviction in his voice faltered. Titannox said nothing. He stared at the empty space where the beast had stood, his boots sinking into the thick, gray dust. He knew the truth. They had given everything, and it was not enough. Far above, hidden behind the shifting clouds, something was still watching. Now it knew exactly who they were.